Hello folks, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Train Fever with the Nordic DLC. Now, I am reliably informed by my colleague, Monty, that the Nordic DLC has kind of hit a stall point where more stuff is being waiting to be done. So there will come a point where this, let's follow this fella, where this playthrough is kind of put on. No, that didn't really work out well, did it? Let's try that again. Yes, where this playthrough is put on hold while we wait for the DLC to catch up, because I'm keen to finish this map off, but equally we are in the throes of a brand new patch being available, which adds a whole bunch of useful bits and pieces. Nothing particularly spectacular. The ability to place trees down is quite nice. Equally, the mitigation of the end of month lag wave is very welcome indeed. Anyway, I'm going to crack on until we hit the point at which the kind of the DLC's lifespan ends, which is around the turn of the century. So we've got another 17 years left to go before that happens, and I am progressing at a relatively slow rate insofar as the advance of time is concerned. So what are we going to get on with today? Right, well, you're looking at the first loop track here at Masham, and we do have trains going in both directions on this loop. But the whole reason that this is going to work is because passengers who arrive at the station over here at what we could call north are going to want to get to south. Now, why would they want to get to south? Well, the reason they want to get to south is going to be Haxby. If they want to go to Haxby, then the south side of the station is where they're going to have to go. And in order to make that happen, I need to build a route out to Haxby. Now, Haxby is the kind of the pivot off which the whole of this plan hinges. Does a pivot hinge? I think a pivot pivots, really. Anyway, the pivot point pivots are in Haxby. So the goal is that round the outside of the map, as I'm sure you remember, we have one route that goes all the way around the outside of the map, touching on all of these different towns. However, there is a shortcut that goes via Haxby to the opposite end of the map, right? Pretty exciting stuff. So all being well, we should have sufficient demand to run in both directions. So in order to make that happen, I need a passenger station or two at Haxby. What's going on here? Why are you? No, you're on the wrong side of the track. So let's turn you around. Go on, clear off. And then, all being well, you'll sort yourself out. Not that it's going to matter too much, given that I'm about to bulldoze this whole area. So I have given this a try already to see how it works out. And the method I used so far was to build a whacking great station here to the kind of the south, if you're imagining that's north again. So to the south of Haxby, where this goods line is at the moment, we'll parallel in. I mean, I get rid of the goods station, parallel in a passenger station as well, and then track up from there. It's not easy, and the complexity of the track coming out of it is brilliant. It's a wonder to behold. So that's what I'm going to do. But in order to get that to happen, I need to get these trains out of the way. So let's make that happen, shall we? The other big change, of course, in this particular update, as well as a whole bunch of stuff that modders will find useful, is the speed at which your goods facilities will grow. And conversely, how long it will take them to stop, on the subject of which I'm going to stop everybody in this station. So all being well, I shouldn't need to muck around with this station. I've played around with this one enough. Right, once you're done, we'll stop you as well. There we go. Right, and we're rapidly going to come up on the point where that station needs to be rethought, because we're going to need to run more trains in and out of it, possibly doubling up the services that we have right now. But to get started, let's do this. And, let's set your expectations accordingly. We are not going to get this done in one hit. This is a big job. Not least of all because of the number of routes that need to go through it. And there's an awful lot of kind of rearrangement that needs doing as a result of this. Now, you might ask why I'm getting rid of this perfectly useful, perfectly serviceable track. And that's because I don't want it distracting me from what I'm going to build next. the amount of looping and crossovering I've got to do is pretty extensive. Okay, so now, I mean, the other thing I haven't considered is whether having a circuit around Haxby is a good idea. Because what I could do is, rather than the version that I've built already, which hinges off this one station, I could build 2 stations. I don't like it. No, we'll go with the one that works, and then maybe later on we will revisit it. Anyway, this is a, what do we do? 4 track, 5 track. Let's bring out the big beast. 5 track passenger station, and we'll sit that right here, which is going to immediately lead you to go, well, why did you bother getting rid of it in the first place? I know what I'm doing. There are plans within plans next to plans. And then over the other side, we're going to want our goods route around this side. Now, there is, of course, no reason to put the goods station this side, except for the volume of tracks that allows me to play with coming in and out of this station. And if you were tuning in for the last season of makes it sound important. The last playthrough that I did, you will recall that having many tracks is something that I rather enjoy. Right, okay, so I don't want to mess around too much initially. This is simply a case of getting some bindable track out of the station. Can't help but wonder whether smoothing the ground out immediately is a good plan or not, but we'll worry about that in a minute. And then I shall do some pointing with the mouse cursor to show you what we're thinking. But as you can see, this is a fairly monstrous number of tracks coming out of here. And if I use the same method that I've practiced with, it's actually we end up using all of them. I know. Doesn't bear thinking about. Okay, so this is this is precluded on multiple routes coming in and out of the station, right? Right, now the downside is the goods are in entirely the wrong place. It would possibly have made more sense for me to put my goods station up over the other side, but that's ugly. Why have you opted for a ramp there, friends? I mean, I would argue that was potentially unnecessary. We want to go up, Chief. No, you don't. You want to go straight. Straight is great. There we are. Marvellous. Right, okay. So, yes, nothing really changing on as far as the goods route is concerned. We're coming out of this Haxby Annex here, ploughing down this way towards Poole, and then once again up towards Masham. And that's fine, except, of course, that we have a Poole to, I don't know, I haven't decided. Lostwithiel? I think that sounds good. Poole Lostwithiel route that we need to work in there. We then need a Masham to, what do we think, Bridport, and then a Kidsgrove to Marlow. Right, so Kidsgrove Marlow is going to come in like this, over this side here, whack it through the station, and then come out the other side. And as you can see, that's going to involve it crossing over the goods lines here, and then once it's done its bit, it's going to cross over them again on the way back out. So the goods lines are going to take a back seat in order to make that happen. Tough luck, goods lines. Now, I could use shared lines, but of course the goal is to have my my passenger services moving along at a fair lick. So we're gonna remain on pause for a bit. I can feel it. Meanwhile, we also have to service Masham and Poole with the goods. So let's get that semi-laid in now, and I'm going to do that, if I can, if not completely underground, then underground enough so that I might be able to stick a tunnel underneath. A tunnel underneath? A bridge over the top. There we go. There we go, got a tunnel. Tunnel? Bridge looks better, but tunnel might actually work. And I spent hours trying to get, well, maybe an hour, trying to get bridging to work over the top of this But I did manage it. Okay, right, fine. Let's kill this road. Yeah, as you can see, you know, the 17 million that I have in the bank right now, I am prepared to and likely to spend all of it. Yeah, this is not a cheap endeavour. Right, we'll run it to there for the moment. The slope is too high. I don't care. Right, now let's plumb that in again. This will probably get removed, so this probably won't stand the test of time, but I'm going to plumb it in anyway. Okay, so that's Masham, still very much able to run. We've got one little bit of tunnel. I quite like one little bit of tunnel. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, heading out in the direction of Pool. Right, there we go. So entirely segregated goods lines, except they won't be for long. As mentioned before, unless I can figure out a way of hauling a hell of a lot of goods, and I do have a solution for that, but it's one that is perhaps a little anachronistic for this particular time of the game. Yeah, I can't wait to show you it because it's amazing. It's one of the mods that I've picked up, so it's a cargo train mod that is glorious. Okay, right, let's get Masham. Masham is heading out to Bridgeport. Bridge, your choice. Decide among yourselves. And I guess these guys are going to have to run off this cheap and cheerful here. So if we now take the reverse angle, where are we looking? We're looking over there. So this is going to run in, well, this is going to be expensive because it's involving a bridge, and I'd ideally like to run 2 tracks so that I can run multiple trains down here. Right, take you over there. 9 million, you say? To which I say, that is significantly more than I was willing to spend. Actually, it's a good-looking bridge. I can't complain about that. Alright, take it up. It maybe gets a little on the tall side over there, so let's cancel that. Let's kill this road. Stick it back in when we're done. So, for the moment, I'm not going to connect everything up. This is purely sketching it out. This is making an initial first pass at what we'll end up with. Does it prefer that one? It likes that one. That's good. Still 9 million quid. Ouch. And we're heading straight for that coal mine, which I can foresee being a bit of a pain. However, that's that. So the idea is that I'll do a secondary branch off here, like so, right, and then we'll double track it the rest of the way to Bridport, like that. But that's going to cost me 5 million quid to finish, and I've only got 6 million in the bank, and none of the trains are currently running. So that one can just hang on. We do still have to figure out exactly what we're doing with the goods line here. And the eternal question, under or over, that was just so, that was too ugly to live. Let's get rid of it. Alright, under or over, that's the challenge. I don't think either of them are going to be easy. Let's have a look. Right, if I take it up to here-ish, because of course there's the track that it wants to you know, make close friends with. No, you're not letting. Oh no, it doesn't do. You can't do that with trains. You can only do that with road. All right. Let's try it again. Now, as ever, we're going to work on the premise that you get it right with one side, the other side will snap to it. There we go. Can you get under there? Go on, get under there. That would be quite the bacon saver. Let's get a bit closer still and see if it wants to tunnel a little earlier. I'm not thrilled, which means I'm going to have to try going over, and I don't think that's going to be any easier. Alright, okay. Under, not so much. Over, let's see what we've got. Because of course, once I've got this run over the top, once I've got this running at all, I can then switch my goods services back on, so that I can at least make a bit more cash. Go on, go on, go on, go on, get up there. It's not gonna. Yeah. That. This. Here. Yes. You. Right, and then just figure it out. Just get across. I don't need anything significant from you other than a beautiful, glorious crossover on this other bit of track. And I am prepared to move that other bit of track in order to accommodate you. What I am not prepared to do is remove the bridge. All right, I spent a hell of a lot of money on that bridge. Now, the angle I am choosing here is somewhat, I don't think even does it even the remotest bit of justice. No, this isn't going to be any easier. Troubling, problematic. And you can see this is this is why having already done this once, and obviously I can't remember exactly how I did it, otherwise that's how I'd be doing it. You can see why I was considering going at the other end of the town. Let's go from there and see if it'll. No, it's not going to do it. It's not. You're deluding yourself, man. You're going to have to move your other bridge, or you're going to have to do something ridiculous. Excuse me. All right. Okay. Well, come on. Think it out. Work the problem. How did I do it before? I can't even remember how I did it before. It will have been the age-old do we go under, do we go over? Or do we share the same track? Alright, well, there is that, I suppose. Alright, let's smooth that back out. Just so that it's less ugly by the time we get rolling. Okay, right, let's get on to there. No. First, let's build a bit of snapped track here. Yep. And then connect it up. Curvature's too high. Well, I should think so. I was possibly a little aggressive. Try that again. Get on there. That's fine. It's a station entrance. I'm quite happy to burn off the speed at this point. Alright, okay. Right, now we're going to need to rethink these points. Because we've got a lot of track switching coming up here. Okay, so we need both these lines to be able to get over there-ish. I'm not really bothered about where they end up over there. So let's do the first one first. We can go from. We can do this here. Right, so if we did that one, and then hopefully we can diamond it. A scissors crossing, or however you wish to refer to it. It doesn't want to do it there. I'm not surprised. That's quite a fun corner, that one. Alright, etch a sketch, go again. Any other tips or suggestions? What have we got? What can we do here? Well, hold on. Hold everything. Everyone wants to drive on the right. We know this, so we could be driving on the right up here, in which case we will need to get over by a little. And everyone wants to drive on the right coming back again, so we need to make sure that we can do both sides. So let's do that. And then on the way out, we'll be on the right side already. Okay, all right, okay, this could work. This could potentially work. Obviously, I've put that in the wrong place, but because it's all about evaluating exactly what the traffic is going to get up to. And given that, oh yeah, too much to hope for you to snap to the next piece of track, isn't it? Oh yeah. Yeah, why would you make it easy when you can make it not easy? There we go, right. So about here, like that. Okay, which actually renders this bit of track here redundant because no one will ever use it. So all of that... Oh, flaming egg. All of that belly aching I was just doing was for naught. Come on, get over there. And then get over here. Right, and then you peel off onto there. Right, good. Okay. Now we're talking. And then onto this bit here. So this is going to be a pretty heavily used section of track. So if I can keep the speed up, that will be beneficial. Right, let's carry that on over there. Ugh. Look, I'd quite like you to get up to 50-ish. If that's too much drama for you, then 42. 42 will have to do. And of course, I've got excessive track going on. Apologies for this. This is a greater than usual level of incompetence on display, but yeah, you see, why didn't you just do it like this in the first place? 50. That's what you wanted. That's what you've got. Right, and then we need a peel off there. Curvature is not too high. The curvature is absolutely lovely. There we are, right. And then a supplemental peel off. I'm going to have to build this flaming bridge, aren't I? Right, stuff it. Let's do it. Right. Yeah. That way, at least we can get this bit working. Because once I can get the good services back in business, then life will be sweet once again. What sort of speed can we maintain out of there? Where can I go from this? So I'm working this based on the first time. See, blue dot's there for the first time, which indicates that's the first time it actually will permit me to create some sort of junction. 35. I think that'll have to do. Right. Okay. And then we can get shot of this. And Gould knows there's a lot of excitement in the region over there, and we can hopefully simplify that a little. I know, I'm spending time smoothing out the track while on camera, smoothing out the ground rather, and that's a big no-no, but I'm doing it anyway because that's how I roll. Okay, so these two chaps here, I believe, come in on, well, in fact, we can see them. Look, they're here. Those two there. Right, so they want to come out over here, and we've got unnecessary track mergeage going on there. Or maybe it isn't. In fact, let's delete this back, because I think there's some efficiencies can be done here as well. Way to go. Yeah, okay, so that's 17 million down to my last 800 grand in a matter of minutes. No mere mortal I can spend this cash in a hurry. Anyway, we are traipsing around here. And then at some point I'm going to merge these two together. That feels like the only point worth doing. Okay, right, so this single section of track here is going to be busy. And you know what? I'm comfortable with that. I'm a believer in it shaking out over time. But those of you who have seen me have present tense. Those who have seen me having fun with signalling in the past will no doubt be looking forward to repeatedly banging your head against the table while you watch me putting signals in the way of junctions, points, crossovers, all sorts. Well, you're going, no, you will not do that. You will not put signals anywhere near those points. You're just creating madness. Well, ease down there, Tiger. You know, if it works, it works. And I don't care what the rules are in the real world. Because these services are always scheduled. Who am I kidding? They're right, I'm wrong. Anyway, right, good. So, theoretically, and we can now get these two re-enabled. So let's do that so that I can, because I'm not doing anything else until I got a bit of cash. No path. Well, you've got no path because I've destroyed the station. Equally, no goods are going to come out of here until I hook this up. So I probably ought to do that. Ha. Right, and that's going to be a ruddy great tunnel. There is no way I'm going to be able to get a bridge over the top of that. So let's see if we can get a tunnel under there. Look at that. See, it wants to play ball now. It knows that grand things are happening in Haxby. And it goes, I'm excited to be a part of it. Equally, what else do I need to hook up? I need to hook this bad boy back up again. Okay, well we'll do something relatively simplistic for the moment. A swift bridge, no. Any kind of bridge. The trick is cheap. Cheap is what it needs to be. Okay, and then we'll whiz this round here and just connect it up to the road for the moment. Okay, right. Look, just see that as a work in progress. Okay, that's something that's going to happen later. Right, and then we need a bit of road to hook up to that, and then everybody is happy, and I can go about my business. Is that right? Yep, that's right. Okay, good. So let's bring up Hax Mass Oil Goods, which currently is just, I mean, it's utterly baffled. It has no understanding of what just happened in its world. So Haxby Halt, which is where it is now, followed by Haxby Waypoint 1, which I suspect is that. Followed by Lower Haxby, which is here. Ah, no, it's not. Lower Haxby is now a passenger station. So we remove that one. Instead, we will add whatever this is called. Haxby North, which is a terrible name in terms of knowing what the station is called. So, Haxby Goods Transfer. There we go. There is now no mistaking that's what it's called. Okay, right? So let's remove that. Let's add it again so that it doesn't get even further confused. It's not Haxby North. I've called it Haxby Goods Transfer. What are you called? Haxby North. What are you called? Haxby Goods Transfer. So why have you got a different name? Haxby Goods Transfer. You're the same flaming thing. Anyway, right. Okay, so you come down here. We're running single file. At that point, we're running back and forth on the same thing. And I think once I've got this established, and once I decide to run further trains down here, I'll run these back and forth. So we'll have an upstream and a downstream. But that can wait. Masham sidings, all out there. Everybody's happy. Groovy. Right, you're operational, so you can get rolling as soon as I unpause. Meanwhile, this is Pool, I believe. Okay, Paul, what route are you taking? Yes, I approve this route. This route is approved. Yep, that's fine. Oh, no, don't close it. You haven't finished looking at it yet. There we go. Swings through there, out towards Paul. Magnificent. So the only area of with any difficulty is going to be here. So if I were to put a couple of signals either side of there, everything should just function. And people will be happy, and there will be celebrations and parades in my name. Where are we? What are you looking for? I'm looking for signals, Gov. Wait, you're not going to find signals on the road, are you? Okay, so because we're running back and forth at the moment, and, you know, I'm waiting for the sagely nodding from you people to say, yes, you have done well here. Signals there to allow this to clear out, and then we'll do the same facing in the opposite direction. Right, and then we'll stick a secondary set of signals the other side of the station. Why? Why would we put signals there? Because I wanna. Is that the best place to put them? No, it's not going to queue this side, it's going to queue the other side. We'll put those there. That should be more than sufficient. In fact, those last signals are probably redundant, but, you know, what the hey. Let's roll! Okay, so these two chaps are going to go into a drag race down here. It's going to be neck and neck all the way. I think we might have to slow down to really, truly appreciate the majesty here of two magnificent... Have we got a nice view? That's a nice view. Except you've got the wrong angle. You're going to have to find... accuse this... There you go. Look at that. That's the one. Yes. Maybe a little low down. Could have staged that better. Right. Let's see what happens when we actually get to this jump. There we go. See, look. Mr. Man in the lead gets the first jump on it. And of course, he's going to then stop at the station, which is going to be a pain in the bum for everybody. But we can live with that. Okay, look, that's good. It's working, right? Okay, I need to earn a little bit more cash in order to proceed with this. But that's the first stage. Now, the second stage is going to be, I mean, we can already, with a little bit more track build, we can run Masham to Haxby and back again. And in the, informs us some new passenger carriages available. We will look into this shortly. But Masham Haxby alone is not going to save our bacon. We also want to head out to Bridport. So that's what we're doing next. And that is quite an aggressive bridge there. It's going to come in over here. So I think next time around, largely depends on how much cash I've got. But in theory, I'll build the circuit around Bridport. I know, there's a thing. Or at least I'll build the first station. See, that's a far less aggressive way of describing it. Okay, that's probably what I'll do. Be sure to tune in for that. Thanks very much for watching today. I've been Colonel Failure. Short on progress, long on demolition, has this episode been. Thanks very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't done so already, because this is the kind of stuff I get up to on a regular basis, and you managed to have stuck with it this far, so clearly it wasn't that appalling. They'll ping this one a like, and then more people will view it. That's kind of how it works. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch up with you very soon. Cheerio.
This